Question 34 says, given any two real numbers a and b, for which of the following is true about the quantity absolute value a minus b plus the square root of b minus a? Now, first thing you want to notice here is that we're talking about any two real numbers. So let's just look at these through very quickly. Will this sum always be equal to an integer? Well, let's just try a number real quick. Let b equal 4 and a equal 1, for example. If I let b equal 4, 4 minus 1 here, I'm going to end up with a 3. The square root of 3, that's not, that is not an integer. You'd end up with radical 3. And if I take any number plus radical 3, I do not get an integer. Remember, the integers are like these numbers. I'll just write them out here, dot, 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 -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, dot, dot. They go on forever. It's like the solid numbers going on forever, both positive and negative. So if I just chose an example, 4 for b and 1 for a, we can quickly see that this expression over here is not going to be an integer, and the sum of anything times an irrational number will not give you an integer, so I know f is not a possibility. Let's look at this one. It is positive if b is greater than a. Well, here's an example. b equals 4 and a is 1. b is greater than a. Let's just try that out. If I put in 1 for a and 4 for b, 1 minus 4 is a -3, but the absolute value of -3 is 3. If I put in a 4 here, 4 minus 1 is 3. The square root of 3 is whatever number that is. It doesn't really matter. But will the result be positive? 3 plus radical 3 certainly is positive. So it looks like that's the answer. But let's continue and look at the other options. It's always positive. Will this sum always be positive? Well, not necessarily. For example, if both a and b are 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, absolute value of 0 is 0. And over here, 0 minus 0 is 0. The square root of 0 is still 0, so I would have 0 plus 0, and that's 0, which isn't positive, so I know H is not an option. Choice J says, it is negative if A equals B. Well, right away, I know there's no way that the sum can be negative, because the result of an absolute value is 0 or higher. The result of any square root is always 0 or higher, so I know J is not an option. It is always real. Well, not necessarily. Let's say in this case, I let B be 1 and A is 4. Now if I look at this part of my sum, and I say 1 minus 4, I'm going to get a -3. And if I take a square root of -3, I will get an imaginary number for this expression right here. It doesn't really matter what this will be. If I take a real plus an imaginary number, the whole sum will not be real, but imaginary, so I know K is not an option either. The best choice here is G.